from Kansas City, Mr. Elijah Thomas.
Well, thank you, Jay. That was quite the introduction. Definitely used some adjectives that I would never describe myself, so thank you so much. Hello, Kaiju Go. How is everybody today? How are you enjoying it so far? Good. Very good. Well, Jay's already introduced me, but my name is Elijah Thomas. You might know me or might not. You know, I am the host of the podcast, Kaiju Conversation, but I also am the bonus feature producer for SRS Cinema. I started with the company back in early of 2024. The first title I worked on for them was Yuzo, the Biggest Battle in Tokyo. It's directed... Yes, thank you. It's a great movie. It's a COVID kaiju movie, so a lot of fun. It was directed by my good friend, Yoshikazu Ishii, and little did I know when I got to attend the premiere of that film that a couple months later I would be working on the official release for it, but here we are. I also regularly attend G-Fest in Chicago, if anybody here has been there. There we go, yes. I'm frequently a panelist. This past year, I did about 9 hours of programming for them. Among those was I actually got my feature film debut as a film director. Keizo Murase, thank you. My directorial debut is a documentary, Keizo Murase, The Last Monster Maker, a documentary covering one of Tokusatsu's greatest model makers, somebody who helped create Mothra, King Kong for the Toho films. I already said Mothra, but Kamen Rider. He worked on Ultraman, Red King. He was the guy that made Red King look the way he did in the suit. Really amazing guy, and I got to work with the family. I got to work with many collaboratives of his. People here, Matt Frank, Bob Eggleton, I collaborated with on it, and we were able to turn out something I hope is as definitive as you could possibly imagine.
Where can we watch it?
So right now it's available on the Brush of the God Blu-ray as a bonus feature. We're hoping to get it on Tubi eventually, but Ron and I are working out those details. But one of the things I've been able to do as working with SRS Cinema is originally I was just a bonus feature producer, but eventually Ron has had me work on licensing and working with him on copyright and picking artists and honestly just anything and everything he needs help with. So this past G-Fest, we did the very first SRS panel, and we were able to announce a slew of titles, over 10. Many of those were actually films called Den Ace. Now, Den Ace is a Ultraman knockoff from director Minoru Kawasaki. And I bring all this up because Minoru Kawasaki is the director of Monster Seafood Wars, of course. In Japan, he's known as the Ed Wood of Japan. He's known for crazy, funny, insane movies. I'll bring up a couple of them here in a second. Now, has anybody here seen any of Minoru Kawasaki's movies? Awesome. Some of my personal favorites are The World Sinks Except Japan, a parody of Submersion of Japan. The Rug Cop, which is about a detective that has a special powered wig that he throws like Ultra 7's Eye Slugger and beats up criminals. And then also The Calamari Wrestler, which is there we go, yes. Great movie. It's about a guy who turns into a squid and wrestles. I don't know if he was on drugs, maybe. More power to him, you know. So the film we're here today, however, to talk about is Sandai Kaiju Gorume, or as we know it here in the West, Monster Seafood Wars. Now, a lot of kaiju fans attribute this film to the 1970 Toho movie Space Amoeba, or Yog, the Monster from Space for you old school fans. But the origins of this movie actually go back way farther than 1970. One of the films that actually influenced this is a lost film, if you will. But even before I talk about that title, this actually goes all the way back to 1954. Toho was developing an event movie for their late 1954 release schedule. At the time, they did not know what they wanted. Some of you might know of Project G, the title of the Godzilla idea. Now, originally, it was going to be a giant octopus appearing in Tokyo Bay, making landfall on mainland Japan, destroying Tokyo, and at the foot of Mount Fuji, the self-defense force would use a vinegar cannon to kill the kaiju. Director Kawasaki is a huge fan of this stuff. He loves Ultraman. If you ask him about Ultraman, he will talk about it for hours. I've worked with him quite regularly, and he loves Ultraman a lot. He likes to do deep cut jokes. So he loved this idea. He loves absurd stuff. That's kind of his MO. And that idea really inspired him. And as he was leaving high school and getting into college in the late 70s, he started developing his own movies. It really began in 1976, 77, and 78. He created a Ultra 7 short film, a fan film, of course, but he stole props from Subaraya. So they're using actual props from the Ultra 7 show in Square Root Ultra 7 End of the Beginning. I have not watched it myself, but what I have seen is really fun. One of the films he did, however, is an original kaiju short film called Futo. Now, Futo came out in 1977. It was a college project. It actually did very well, shot on 8mm. If anybody here is a camera buff, he used 8mm as his first handful of things. This all predates Dennis, or even his first feature film debut, which came out in 1982, Esperazer. When it came to Futo, the story follows a boy's sukiyaki meal falling into the Sumida River. And his food floats down the river, and maybe Godzilla had just been by or something, because it gets irradiated. I'd be worried more about the fish at that point. There's got to be a problem there. But the food turns into, guess what? A giant monster. Such an original idea. But this food becomes a kaiju named Futo, and Futo destroys Tokyo. Now, the self-defense force is obviously there, and they're attacking the creature and trying to destroy it. They blow off two chunks. And what they don't know is it's like a starfish. So these two chunks end up growing into their own kaiju, Kuni and Gine. Now, these three kaiju end up fighting each other. They destroy more of Tokyo. And the self-defense force is like, okay, well, we're going to do something called the Sukiyaki Operation. And they lure the three kaiju into Korakuen Stadium in Tokyo, and fighter jets drop sugar and soy sauce all over the monsters. And then, I'm sure they were like, let's grill them. So they set them on fire, and they're dead. And that's the end of the short film. Now, I didn't just spoil Monster Seafood Wars for you, so don't worry, but keep that plot in mind. That was a short film from 1977. This film we're about to watch here is from 2020. The movie was made for about 20 million yen. Now, once you adjust that for conversion rates, it's about 126,000 US dollars. A lot of that budget goes into the creation of the three main kaiju suits. You have Takora, the octopus, Ikura, the squid, and Kanilla, the crab. In fact, Ikura is played by Hurricane Ryu, who is best known for his work on the Godzilla franchise. He's been a suit actor. He was Godzilla at one point, I believe Godzillasaurus, and a handful of other creatures from the Heisei era. So he's known Kawasaki for years and has worked on Dennis and a plethora of other titles. He regularly shows up. Actually, he was just announced about a week and a half ago. He's returning to the Dennis franchise for Kawasaki's next kaiju film, Dennis Red, coming in April of 2027. Now, Jay brought it up, and he's prominently on display here on the screen, but Jumbo Cook is probably one of the most iconic elements of this film. He's real. He can hurt you, but he won't. Look at that face. He would never hurt anybody. But he can show you a good time. Jumbo Cook is actually the face of the Kappabashi Kitchenware Street. It's a district in Taito City, Tokyo. It's a little, suburb in Tokyo, and it's a street just to go buy kitchenware. So if you have a girlfriend or a wife, or even if you find yourself a connoisseur of china or kitchenware or something, this is a great place. They have over 150 stores. You can go, it's all kitchenware. They have a ton of stuff. But Jumbo Chef was built to be on top of this little store that's at the front of the street in 1982. He was unveiled March 1st of 1982. He's 11 meters tall, or 36 feet tall, and weighs about 10 tons. So if you want to go there and try to steal him, first of all, it's not going to get on a plane. Second of all, it's a little heavy, so you might need an army or two to get him off the building. But he is real, and Kawasaki was able to get the approval to utilize him for this film, and it's a little bit of a marketing tactic. He loves using his films to market little prefectures or towns, to really get people out there to see a lot of the fun little things that Japan has to offer. Monster Seafood Wars was the first film, actually, to come out in the world of kaiju during COVID. That thing. We're not really going to talk about it. But Monster Seafood Wars was originally set to have a small theatrical chain release, showing at small venues, similar to the Texas Theater, but in Japan. And that's how Kawasaki does all of his movies. You know, small little events, little venues, but it got cut short. So it quickly was rushed to DVD in Japan. You could order it on Amazon. You could stream it eventually on various Japanese streaming sites, Prime Video Japan, Unext, stuff like that. But it eventually came to the United States in April of 2021 on Blu-ray and VHS. It still exists. You can buy it. I believe they're sold out now, but Ron does typically like to try and do VHSs for these films. So Monster Seafood Wars got a VHS and Blu-ray, and then later on a DVD. And from my understanding, and I don't know if Jay's aware of this, but Monster Seafood Wars has never been shown in theaters in the United States. So this is the premiere. And I can't wait. Next week, I actually have a meeting with director Kawasaki for a couple of the upcoming releases. And I can't wait to tell him that his movies are getting shown in America and people are loving them. So thank you all so much for coming out, not only to support Kaiju Go, but supporting small theaters, independent artists, and anything independent, because it is hard. It's a lot of work. It's very costly. And showing up and showing your support like this, whether it's buying stuff or telling them how great something looks, that does wonders. And you're helping keep the world of art, in a world where AI is kind of running art down a little bit. You're helping keep it, yes. You're helping keeping it alive. So thank you all so much for coming. Now, I'm sure you're ready for me to get off this stage and you can enjoy this beautiful man of a mech. So thank you all. My name is Elijah Thomas, and if you have any questions, just find me and we can chat after the showing. So thank you so much.